from compensation transparency to competitive compliance. In the previous sections, we focused on how compensation must be clearly negotiated, documented, and aligned across agreements. Now we take that one step further into a critical area that many agents overlook: how you talk about compensation and business practices with others in the industry. Because while compensation must be negotiated, it must always be negotiated independently. This is where antitrust law comes into play. The big picture. What antitrust laws are really about. Antitrust laws exist to protect competition. They are designed to ensure that businesses compete fairly and independently, without collusion or agreements that limit consumer choice. In real estate, this means one simple principle: you must run your business independently from other brokers and agents. Even casual conversations can cross the line if they create the appearance of coordination. The story: a conversation that went too far. Imagine you are at a real estate office meeting or industry event. Another agent says, "What are you charging these days? I feel like everyone should just stick to the same percentage." It sounds harmless, maybe even logical. But the moment agents begin discussing aligning commissions or business practices, that conversation becomes dangerous. Because antitrust violations do not require a written agreement. They can be based on implied agreements or even the appearance of cooperation. Federal antitrust law, the foundation. Antitrust law in the United States is rooted in the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890. This law made it illegal to engage in contracts, combinations, or conspiracies that restrain trade or limit competition. In simple terms, if two or more competitors coordinate in a way that reduces competition, it may be illegal. The most common violations in real estate. The most serious violations, often prosecuted criminally, include price fixing, agreeing on commission rates or fees, bid rigging, manipulating offers or outcomes, market allocation, dividing territories or clients. These are considered automatic violations, meaning no further proof of harm is needed. The story. Let's just keep it fair. Two agents decide informally that they will both offer the same compensation to cooperating brokers to keep things fair. No contract is signed, nothing is written down, but they both follow through. This is exactly the type of behavior antitrust laws prohibit. Intent does not matter. Impact and appearance do. The golden rule. Independence. Every brokerage must independently determine commission structures, compensation agreements, business practices. This ties directly back to what we discussed earlier. Compensation is negotiated between broker and client, not influenced by competitors. Arizona antitrust law, local enforcement matters. Arizona law mirrors federal law and reinforces the same principles. Any agreement or conduct that restrains trade within the state is unlawful. Penalties can include significant financial penalties, civil liability, potential lawsuits from injured parties. In some cases, damages can be multiplied, creating serious financial exposure. The real-world risk, where agents get caught. Most antitrust violations do not happen in formal meetings. They happen in casual conversations, text messages, association meetings, social media discussions. An agent might say something like, "I don't work with that brokerage. They don't pay enough." If multiple agents begin acting on that same idea collectively, it can be viewed as a boycott. 4. High-risk areas. Every agent must avoid price discussions with competitors, never discuss commission rates, fees, or compensation structures with other brokers, territory or client division, never agree to stay in your lane or divide markets, boycotting other brokers or companies. Never agree to avoid working with a competitor or service provider as a group association meeting conversations. Be cautious of discussions that drift into pricing, policies, or business strategies. The story, the meeting that crossed the line. At a brokerage meeting, several agents begin discussing how frustrating it is to work with a certain company. Someone suggests, "We should all just stop working with them." No formal vote is taken, but everyone nods in agreement. That moment, right there, can create an antitrust issue. Even informal alignment can be interpreted as a coordinated effort to eliminate competition. The professional standard, stay in your lane. Professional agents understand that success comes from competing fairly, operating independently, serving clients, not controlling the market. If a conversation starts heading in the wrong direction, the best response is simple: remove yourself immediately. The connection to today's compensation model. With the shift toward negotiated compensation through buyer-broker agreements and seller compensation addendums, antitrust compliance is more important than ever. Why? Because agents are now discussing compensation more frequently, and those conversations must always remain client-focused, independent, and private, never industry-driven, never competitor-influenced. Bringing it all together. This section ties directly back to everything we have discussed about compensation. You must negotiate your compensation clearly, document it properly, align it across agreements. But just as important, you must do it independently. No coordination, no agreements with competitors, no shortcuts. Because in real estate, how you set your business practices matters just as much as what you put in your contracts. Online discussion. Question: why is it dangerous to discuss commissions with other agents? Answer: because it can create the appearance of price fixing, which is a violation of antitrust law. Question: what is the safest way to determine your commission structure? Answer: independently, based on your business model and client agreements. Question: what should you do if a conversation begins to involve pricing or coordination? Answer: remove yourself immediately to avoid any appearance of participation.